Hey everyone, let's today talk about fear and the fear of failure. Hey everyone, my name is Mariah, founder of Content Queen. And today I really want to talk about the fear of failure and how it isn't always a bad thing. And I really want to talk about my journey around the first time I ever moved to Melbourne when I was around 19. And this really, last week I was talking about my move, which you can watch by clicking the link. But I really struggled with this first move, but I also struggled with the fear of failure around this first move. So I really wanted to talk about that journey, especially considering a lot of reflection that I've been doing around what I've done in the last 4 years. So I obviously just moved back from Melbourne to my hometown in Gippsland on a little journey towards my digital nomad life that I'm going to soon live after coronavirus. So pretty much I finished high school with this goal to move to Melbourne. But first I had a gap year to really, save my money, get sorted. I got accepted into university at Deakin. Shout out to any Deakids listening. And I applied to live on campus as part of Res. So 2013, I was set to move down to Melbourne. I was 19 at the time. I had a couple of friends that were going to be living there as well. So I moved down and it didn't really go how I would hoped. I had a boyfriend back home at the time, so I obviously wanted to come down and see him a lot. I was still working my part-time job at Kmart, shout out to Kmart, which I would move back home to work as well. And one of my friends also left Res quite early in the piece, so I was feeling a little bit lonely and isolated. And every time I would come home, I would cry before I had to drive back to Melbourne on the Sunday, and I'd leave as late as possible. I just wasn't ready. I was young and I was too scared to tell people that I didn't love it because it was always a dream of mine. Like, I was gonna live in Melbourne, I was gonna live this amazing life. I was still like a 50-minute tram ride to the city. I never went into the city. And I just felt like I wasn't myself and I didn't love it. And I just thought that, well, when I moved back to Melbourne again, eventually, would it be for me? I don't even know. I was so lost. So I just moved back home, just left and come back and did the rest of my degree commuting. But what I learned from this was, one, I was too young, but I needed this failure. Because the second time that I moved back to Melbourne, I knew exactly what I needed to do to ensure that I didn't get lonely. I knew, it didn't stop me. I was scared that I would use it as a coping mechanism and I would fail again. But it was the best decision that I ever made moving the second time. Obviously, you know how much I love Melbourne. But to recap, I want you guys to remember that it's okay to fail. Do what you want and do what you think is best at the time, and think of the worst case scenario, and it actually won't be that bad. Now, whenever I do something like living my digital nomad life that I want to do, the worst thing that happens is I hate it and I move back home. And that isn't, at the time I'll feel a bit crap about it, but at least I tried, at least I did it. And I think we need to have this mentality instead of being like, oh, well, it'll just fail. What's the point? I shouldn't do it. But there's so many lessons that can come from that. And I learned so much about myself and just about like what I can achieve. And then I knew exactly what I needed to do. So the next time I tried, I knew the slip ups, the trip ups, and what I could do to help myself again. And that's why when it comes to business, like, I'm so ready to do whatever, because if I fail, it isn't that bad. So that was my first journey to Melbourne. I had a few little pictures and videos of that journey flicked through. So look how young I looked and how skinny I was. But anyway, have the most amazing week and just have a think about what do you want to do and what are you too scared to fail at, and really just do it and see what happens. I hope that inspired you a little bit, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.